What up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery podcast. We just released episode 319 last week, man. And we're moving along, brother. 319. Come on. I remember the first one, man, with this kid, Chris Brown. He was the buyer's agent on my team. It was not a very good interview, but it was 2016. I wanted to start a podcast, and I
Wow.
interviewed the closest guy to me, man. But thanks for being here, 10x
Wow.
Glenn.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. This is an honor, like I mentioned earlier. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. I'm excited to talk about this topic today. Funnels, landing pages, using those things to get leads. I know we got some cool things going on, but tell our listeners who you are besides the one and only 10x Glenn.
Well, my name is Glenn Torres. For the ones who don't know me, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Uh, in Puerto Rico, I had amazing opportunities as a kid. I was able to get my first business when I was 10 years old. My mom had a beauty salon that I used to be there in the afternoons, and I always had a passion for cars. So one day I asked my mom, it's like, listen, can I wash the cars of your clients where they getting a haircut for like $10? I'll pay the water, I'll pay the expenses. And she told me yes. And that's how I started my first business when I was 10 years old. It was actually quite profitable for a kid. I was making like 100, $200 on a weekend. And then what I did with that money, I reinvested in my mom's business. I went ahead and bought like a Frito-Lay stand, so I can send Cheetos and chips and cookies for the clients. And I also got like a vending machine for like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. So that was my first business when I was 10 years old. Beside that, I had the opportunity also to like play volleyball, basketball, baseball. I did surfing, I did swimming. I know you're a big swimmer, so one day we gotta get head to head.
Head to head, bro. What's up, man? You
What's up,
challenging me,
man?
man? What's up, man? I thought we were friends.
No, but
No.
you know what I mean, man. A little
I'm just messing
competition
with you.
is always good, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I had also the opportunity to represent the Junior Olympics, the team for Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 4 times.
Swimming?
No, in volleyball.
Oh, volleyball. Okay.
Volleyball, yeah.
Oh.
And gratefully we won a few medals, man. Super proud with my past. In 2003, I moved to Florida looking for better opportunities. And that's when I got my bachelor degrees in the science of culinary arts, like we talked about earlier today. I work with great people on the industry. I mean, that's one of my passions. I was able to work with Emerald Lagasse. Uh, we opened up a few W's, a few hotels, Ritz-Carlton, St. Regis. It was awesome. But then at the end of the day, I got tired of missing a lot of important dates with my family. So I decided to become an entrepreneur. And it was actually double the time that I was out. It worked out actually backwards, but it's the best decision that I ever made in 2000, like around 2012, 2013.
Well, appreciate that, man, and thanks for sharing that story with me. I did not know all that stuff about you, so
Yeah.
that's cool, man. And yeah, I had no idea you were a swimmer. I didn't you did the Junior Olympics, so that's super super cool. So
Yeah,
what we're
man.
talking about today, what we're talking about, lead pages and using different ways to generate leads for your
Mhm.
business, right? A lot, and
Yes.
there's a lot of people pay a lot of money to go out there. Use the real estate space as an example. People are paying Zillow, $300-400, anywhere from like a lead for one lead, and you can actually we can build pages. You can build pages for people,
Mhm.
that, and they can then market themselves and capture those same or similar leads for a fraction of the price.
Absolutely. Think about it. If you like you mentioned, if you pay in Zillow, for example, $200-300 per lead, how about if you can learn how to build a landing page, or we'll build it with you, and actually use those $300 towards traffic driven to your landing pages and funnels. And instead of getting only one lead for $300, you might be able to get 10 to 15 leads if you set it up properly. So that's what we want to bring to the community, so they know there is a better alternative ways to create more traffic and create more leads into your business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, so let's talk about it, because I know a lot of people like what define like what's a sales funnel in your opinion? Like what is that? Because a lot of
A
people,
sales
people
funnel,
hear funnel, but they're not really clear on what it is.
yeah, the way I see a sales funnel is having a virtual salesperson working for you 24/7. It doesn't take days off. It doesn't get sick. As long that you drive traffic to that funnel will convert into leads, right? It will generate leads and also will convert into a customer, whether it's a sale, whether it's a real estate contract, whether it's anything, you know what I mean? But that's the way I see having a virtual salesperson working for you 24/7, as long that you drive traffic to it. Now, the beauty of having a sales funnel is adding a step or maybe two steps before you send somebody to your website. Okay. And the only reason that you want to do that because is you want to guide that prospect through a few steps before they go into your website, and then they get lost in everything that you have on your website. So think about it. You advertising it could be a post, it could be an ad. From there, you take into your funnel. You offer something for free. It could be a PDF. It could be a book. It could be a checklist. Okay. And then at that point, you exchanging something for free to get their information. So that's how you build your list. Now in the back end, you want to have a system in the ones you're gonna have email follow-ups to stay in front of that prospect over and over and over, and it will help you convert that lead.
Yeah, so essentially you're creating an automated sales team, because when you build these things out the right way, not only can it capture the leads, but then you can put automation in place, right? That will then follow up for a certain amount of time, send specific things that you want to send to them. I mean, there's so much you can do. It's just wild. We've been using these things for years.
It is.
The potential. I mean, you can set up like based on a link somebody clicks, you can set up a completely different campaign.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's absolutely wild. Let me ask you this, because one of the mistakes I see. Well, I'll ask you this before I. What do you see as one of the biggest mistakes with a lot of like the websites and the landing pages you see out there?
The thing with the websites is there's too many options. So this is why in the industry, a lot of people say, and I say this as well, like websites don't convert, because when somebody go into your website and you have at least 20 different options for someone to navigate through your website, they will navigate through your website, and then eventually that's it, they're done. And this is when the power comes in the sales funnels or a lead generation funnel, in the one that you only give that prospect one option only. Is either download your PDF or your checklist or your book, right? Or schedule a consultation or a meeting with you. So that way you can get that lead and meet with them and present to them how is that you can help them. Now, at that point, you can send them to your website.
Yeah, and to that point, Glenn, I think the other thing I've seen, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they just went and built a landing page. A company built it for them, and I mean it looks pretty nice, but the call to action was list with me, and I was like, that's not a good call to action. No. I mean, think about that. Like for you to put list with me as a call to action, I mean, a lot of times these people don't even know you yet. There's zero trust established. I mean, so I think, and it's not his fault, right? No. He paid somebody, thousands of dollars to build this form, and the call to action was list with me and then fill out this form, which is absurd. I mean, it should be like, hey, get your free report, or some like less what like go to like list with me is like that's a massive commitment. That's a
It is.
major commitment. Right on the, so I is that something you see as well, like with some of these
It happens.
CTAs?
It happens. It happens when this is what happens when you get the wrong information, right? And you implement the wrong information, you get no results, and then you get frustrated.
Yeah.
That's what happens a
Yeah.
lot. It happens a lot. Now, when you get the right information and you implement the right tools and strategies, you get the results. And then at that point, you want to repeat that results at least 10, 20, 100 times. But the thing is that like a lot of times, and I include this in myself, I want to make everything so perfect that a lot of times it ended up sometimes being complicated. So I learned that the
Mm.
simpler that landing page is and the clear that the landing page is, the better results, the better conversions.
Yeah. And also you got to think about the commitment, Glenn. Like if I don't know you and I'm online and I'm looking, I come across your site.
Mhm.
You're asking me to list your house with me, right on. Like the guy's like, I've been doing this for 3 months. I haven't gotten any leads, and I said, "What's the site?" We go and look at it. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Listen, I'm not an expert at this, but I
Yeah,
mean, I think I know enough to tell you what the problem is right here."
yeah.
Like you're
Oh, you
asking
got to build
people
that trust.
on a landing page. Yeah. So it's simply like, okay, here's like the first step. Like you meet, it's kind of like, you and I, we met at the Grant Cardone event, right?
Yeah,
We chopped it up a little bit. We're like, oh, this
yeah.
guy's pretty cool. We had dinner. Remember we had dinner that night at that really
At
nice
the Italian
restaurant out
place.
there.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and then, we hung out a couple more times. We're like, "All right, man, you know what? This kind of fits. Like, let's talk about maybe doing something together, right?" We
yeah,
did an event. Like, we
yeah.
kind of started dating first, right? We didn't just get married right out of the gate, right? And I know you're married, you got a wife, I got a wife, but you know what I'm talking about. But I think
That's
some of these
awesome.
pages, that's what they're asking for. They're like, "Hey, let's get married," like
Right
right
away.
out of the
Yeah,
gate.
not even a
Yeah,
cola.
yeah, nothing, bro. So, so I think, so what is an example, like if you're building a page for someone, what do you think should be the first step?
The first step that I take, I would definitely go ahead and find out who's the leader on that niche or in that industry, right?
Mm,
See what they're doing successfully and reverse engineer the whole process from there. So literally, let's say for example, if I meet this afternoon with a restaurant, just to give you an example to generate more leads for that restaurant, I will go ahead and see in town who is the leader of that restaurant, either is Italian, Spanish, or Mexican, just to give you a few examples. I will see what they're doing successfully and I will mimic that and I'll put it back into that one restaurant that I'm working with, just to give you an example, and then build it from there. That will be the
mm,
first thing that I do.
I love that. So you're gonna figure out who's the guy first
Yep,
and figure out what's already working,
correct,
and because that's what makes sense, right? You go to the people that are already doing it.
correct.
Then it's funny because I have people reaching out to me about, like, I get a kick out of it. They're reaching out to me asking if I want to pay them to get guests on my podcast,
Interesting.
and I'm like, well, I've had Gary Vee on my podcast, I've had Mel Robbins, I've had Grant Cardone 3 times. Maybe you should be paying me to get you some guests for your, right. But I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying, I think people, a lot of people, need to kind of figure out first, who, what they're even doing, like who's
Yeah,
who's doing what at a certain level, and figure out what's working. Okay,
yeah,
okay, this is what works. Great. So let's start there. Right. Don't I think too, like that I'm bringing it back to that podcast, that example from earlier, not podcast, but the landing page,
the landing page. Yeah,
yeah, list your home here. Like, okay, nobody, I mean, I guess there could be somebody that does that, but
it could
uh,
be. I mean, it could be one out of 1,000. You know what I mean? But does that really convert? Is that really what you're looking for? Like, I want everybody that comes into my funnel, since I'm spending so much time driving traffic to the funnel or to the landing page, I want everybody to go. I want to capture everybody's lead, minimum 10 to 15 leads per day,
Mm.
minimum. That's my target.
Well, see,
So you
that's
go
no,
ahead.
that's the point, right? So you're the second you the intention of this is not to close somebody on listing a home
No.
with you or buying your product on. I just had this conversation with Steve earlier.
Yeah.
I'm like, Steve, you the first call, you're not calling to sell the person anything. The person just registered for a free webinar. You're just calling to make sure they got what they needed.
Yeah.
And so I think isn't it the same? Like right now, we got their we captured the goal is to capture the email address, right?
Yeah. That is the goal. And then at that point in the back end, you want to have an introduction at least of 5 or 6 emails that it goes out every day or every other day, which is going to be an introduction for them. So not only you give them something for free, there is a lot of value, you give it to them. Now the first email they're going to get is going to be like who I am as a person, as a professional, okay? As a father, as a son, as an uncle. You get to know me on that first email is who I am. The second email, right? It will be what is that I do, okay? The third email, it will be who is that I help. And then the fourth email, it will be how can I do it for you?
Mm.
So at that point, I mean, we already touched the first point where they download the PDF when they give you the lead. And then after that, you got 4 emails following up. So that's already 5 touch points out of the 12 that it takes a sale, right? That we talked about all the time. So think about it like that. You want to introduce them yourself to them so they know exactly who you are, what is that you do, how can you help, and how can you do it for them. And that simply builds trust. I always talk about this, David. You know that.
Yeah, no, you do, man. So let's go backwards then, because I'm supposed to be a great podcaster here, and I'm all over the place, as you can tell. But that's okay. It happens
Hey,
sometimes.
we all humans.
Yeah, that's what we do, right? We just learn and get better, and it's funny, but you know what? That's the difference, though, right? 4 years ago, I would have been not anxious and sweating because I'm not on track. But I want to go back to step two.
Mhm.
So step one is model, right? Really, I mean, for lack of a better term, we'll call it model. Like
Yep.
figure out who's doing it at a high level, right? Check
Yep.
out what they're doing,
Yep.
and then what do you do from there?
From there, I literally what I do if they have a funnel in place and I can tell it's not a website, it's a funnel. I simply go through the funnel. And if I even had to pay a fee to go through the funnel, because I want to find out what is that they doing, what steps are they taking their prospects, and what is the end product of that funnel.
Mm.
So I simply, if I had to pay 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 bucks, even $100, I will pay it because I want to go through the whole funnel to see what are they doing successfully so I can go ahead and take that and implement it into my business. That will be the second step.
Okay, I love that. So you're gonna kind of that's what Russell Brunson coins funnel hacking, right?
Correct. That's exactly what it is. Funnel hacking. So
Okay.
while I'm going through the funnel, I'm actually also drawing how is that funnel is set up, what type of offers are per step, what call to actions that they have that they're using successfully. So literally I'm mimicking all their success so I can implement that success in my business.
I love that. Okay, got it. So now let's go to step number 3. So you found the model, the funnel, the top. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call here. Gotta
No
love it.
problem.
Top funnel. See another hack podcast mistake. I need to shut off my notifications. Keep forgetting to do that. See, we're all getting better here at the same time,
It's all good,
everybody
man.
that's listening. Yeah. So
Hey, that's what makes it authentic. I love
yeah,
authenticity. So
yeah. Amen. All right. So number 2, we're gonna hack it up. All right. What's the next
yeah.
step? Number 3.
Number 3 is start implementing. Start building what the frame that you actually find out that is working. Just make it your own. You know what I mean? Start implementing, start building step by step what the other people are doing successfully. Now, obviously, you cannot copy and paste the copy because you
Mm.
can't do that. But what you could do is take that copy. Today, these days we have tools like ChatGPT or Jasper or any other uh, software that it can optimize your copy, and you can literally just take that copy, put it into a ChatGPT or Jasper, ask them to optimize it, and then just add your information to it. So at this point, you have a successful framework that you're building. Now you got to add your copy, your logos, and your call to actions, and you're ready to go.
I love it, man. Yeah. So, all right. So now you're building. So let's back up a little bit, though. Okay. Because I mean, you tell me. I mean, you see, this is why you're a technical guy. Like you're the builder behind the scenes. Like I'm thinking, like, okay, well, don't we have to like decide on like who we're gonna target with this funnel? Like, where do we do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When do we
Once
do that?
once everything is built and is optimized and you're ready to launch that the funnel, that I mean, before you do that, you already know what's your audience. Okay. So for
Right. Okay. So
example,
you're doing that ahead of time, because I was getting a little confused. So we
no,
already
no,
know who we're
yeah.
targeting. All right.
If you are in real estate, if you're targeting sellers, you know that you're going to build a funnel target to sellers. If you're targeting buyers, it will be for buyers. If you're targeting investors, it will be for investors. Okay. So that being said, now that it's time to launch that funnel and start driving traffic to it, you could do it two ways. You could drive the traffic organically, or you could pay for the traffic, which is actually the shortcut. Now, I like to treat my organic traffic like I'm paying for it,
Mm.
which that
Well,
means that I
yeah.
use my organic traffic like I'm paying for it, which it means if I'm paying for something that is going to be showing people on a regular basis, I want to treat my organic traffic as well the same way. I want my ads, my posts, my reels, my stories to be in front of people as much as possible.
Okay. I love it. So I'm going to go through these steps again now. So number one is find the best, the model, the people that are doing it at the highest level. How do you know, by the way? How do you know that they're doing it at the highest level?
The leaders, I mean, you can find the leaders of the industry. They have tools today's that you can see who's running traffic, where they're running it, where they're getting the traffic from, what type of ads they are running successfully for the whole year. So I mean, there's tools out there that you can literally go and see who's the leader on the industry, right? I could go right now and check, and when I see someone that is running one same ad for a whole year successfully, that says something to me, though.
Mm. What does it say to you?
It says that what they're doing is working.
What if it's that other kid that's running the funnel? I'm just kidding, but I mean, yeah, it's true.
The one that is as I list my house right
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
No, but that's what it says to me when I see companies, when I see individuals, when I see entrepreneurs running ads successfully for 6-7 months for a whole year. I've seen people running the same ad for 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, that
That
makes sense.
says that that what they're doing is working for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think no business owner would like to just waste money like that. You know what I mean?
No, that's a great litmus test. You're absolutely right. That's it, because you and I did that on the
We
funnels,
did it.
some of the funnels we've created. If you guys want to see some examples, by the way, of funnels, we have a workshop coming up on on April 11th and 12th. If you click the link on the top, the first tab, you can join Glenn and I. We just went through one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people here that have actually gone through a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what we're doing is anybody that signs up for the workshop, we're actually going to include a one custom funnel. Was a 2-step funnel, Glenn? It's going to
Yes,
be
sir.
included.
A
Which,
two-step funnel. Yep.
yeah. So if you want to take advantage of that right now, today, up at the top, click that link. And, again, Glenn and I, we're saying this right here on Clubhouse. It's being recorded. If somebody goes through this workshop and at the end of the workshop, they're like, that wasn't worth it, we're going to give you your $1,500 back. That's how confident we are in
No
this
question.
workshop. So
Yep.
yeah, 100%. So, all right, awesome. Let me do this. Let me open it up because we got some really high level people in here as well. Now we got Joe Burgess popped in. We got Armando. We got my friend Sean. Well, Shantae's not even here anymore. We got Dina. We got some Sean, Annette. Okay, anybody have any questions for Glenn? I see somebody else raise their hand. So, any questions, anybody for Glenn on the landing pages, funnels, any of the stuff we've been talking about so far? All right. Well,
I have a quick question, David, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So I'm a realtor. I don't think I've met you before, Glenn. And I'm
Nice
up in
meeting
Marin
you.
County, just north of San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
And I have a website that I like. I pay a company to run it for me. It's all connected to IDX and all of that. I'm not getting the leads that they said I would get, which I'm not surprised by. But I like I like working with them and what they kind of like their back end with the website. Whatever you do, could you work with someone else's website, or would it have to be like a whole new built website? And excuse me for my ignorance.
No, please. There's no such a thing of ignorance. What I will say to that is this: your website is your website. A landing page or a funnel is completely separated from your website. Now, what I will do is, again, I will find out who's the leader of your industry in your county, in your city, in your state. We'll reverse engineer the whole process, like the one that I mentioned, and then we'll build a landing page or a funnel to give, like, let's say, for example, we talked about this the other day, David. Just to give you an example, 21 steps to sell your property for top dollar. Just to give you an example, that will be a free book that you will offer to that prospect in exchange for their emails and the content, right? That's the first step. The second step, it will definitely be a page that you get to brag about yourself, like why they choose you, choose you, like who you are as a person, what is that you do, and how can you help them. Now, on that second step, the only purpose of that second step is for them to book an appointment with you. In this case, you're a realtor, so it will be like a listing consultation or a listing strategy section or just a listing appointment, right? Now, once you go from first step and then to the second step, you got the appointment set up. Now you can send them to your website, because now they can go and navigate your website. They can see your listings and stuff like that, because not only you have their lead, their information, but you also have an appointment set up. And now you can send them to your website and just let them get lost, because you're gonna go ahead and meet them. So yes, you can build something in front of your website and then send them to your website. So the answer is yes.
Awesome, thank you.
So I'll add something to that as well, Dina. So I think, like, here's the way I would look at it: is, if it's working, then keep doing it. Yeah. But if it's not, then try to figure out, like, what could be better, right? Like, because it's hard. Like, websites are a little bit more challenging because there's really no way to track, like, if someone's actually there. You know what I mean? Whereas, and like Glenn said, people go there for, to get some information. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, doing them in combination. I mean, I have no idea what you're paying for it, but I would look at every expense or every cost in my business. There has to be an ROI. And if there's no ROI, then I got to say, okay, does this make sense? And I know that, but I'm just saying, at some point it's like, yeah, I've had people say, well, I really like Zillow leads, but none of them pan out, but I like them, but none of them pan out. Well, then if they're not panning out, stop giving Zillow $3,200 every month, right? Because that doesn't make sense. And then what happens is, well, some of them pan out great. Then let's look at the numbers. And when we looked at the numbers, we had realized that she spent almost $40,000, but she could show about $17,000 worth of commission from the Zillow leads.
Wow.
So we don't have to say, well, yeah, I get that you really like them, but you just lost $23,000 over the last 12 months. And again, that could be on her. I don't even want to say it's Zillow's fault, because it might be a follow-up problem. It might be, there's a lot of things it could be.
Heard
But
that.
that's how we need to start looking at things that we're investing in our business.
Did that answer your question?
Go ahead.
Yes, you answered my question. Thank you very much.
And if you got any other questions, just reach out to us. I'm an open book, so anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Absolutely.
I would say this, if just to throw it in there, if an agency is not getting you results, how long have you been running ads with them? Would be one question I have for you.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Yep. I'm sorry.
Well, I use this service mostly for the website. I actually negotiated them down because I was basically like, your whole lead generating is not actually occurring. So I'm not going to pay you for that anymore. So I'm kind of a hard ass. So I negotiated down what I'm paying them. I'm comfortable with what I'm paying them right now for their service, but I'm recognizing I need to use that website for lead generation. And right now it's just basically a nice website.
Well, okay. So you're going to have a website, and you should constantly be updating the content on that, those types of things, especially as a realtor, have things where people can, see things about you. It's going to be a site that you're going to have on, your yard signs and those types of things. However, for like paid media, that's where you want to churn into pages, right? Or landing pages, like what David and Glenn are talking about, because it's those landing pages. Imagine I call you up on the phone, Dina. There's a certain process you're probably going to take me through, right?
Yeah.
Would that be a safe? So that's what a landing page should do. And so what a lot of times people will do is they'll be like, well, I'm going to pay for ads, and I'm just going to shove them right to my website.
Yeah.
And so on your website, it's nice. You kind of have like a buffet of what you do, or what you can provide, or what you have available. And really, when I'm in just an exploratory mode, that might be okay. But when I'm reacting to an ad that I have intention on, you want to take me down a different path. And you want to take me down a guided path. You want to, if I came to say, hey, let's go look at a house, you already know that house, and you're going to show me each room in process, probably, so that you can navigate the sales process. Well, that's exactly what a landing page should do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it has one call to action. That's it. So like if you look at the link up top, there's a few examples. The marketing execution gives you a lot of information, but there's only one thing you can do. You buy the workshop, right? The subscribe to YouTube, that's different, right? The free webinar, same thing. One call to action. Free ebook, one call to action. So that's what you want to create. So again, I'm not saying don't have a website. Websites are great, but if you really want to capture people, you want to capture leads, you need to bring them to a place where you can offer them something, as Glenn said, in exchange for the email address. Glenn, I hear you trying to jump in. So
no. I'm agreeing with you, and also with Joel, because websites. It's funny that he says a buffet, because I look at my website. I look at my main hub, my website. After I take everybody through the steps, it's like a menu. That's what I have. Everything that I do. So I can relate with what Joel's saying, that it's almost like a buffet. And that's why people get lost. It's so much information there that people just literally they search, but it doesn't convert. That's why you want to guide them through a few steps before they get there, so you can collect that lead.
Joel, by the way, too.
Oh, sorry about that, Joel. That's my Spanglish. My bad, Joel.
It's good. For a few minutes, I forgot I was doing a podcast, and I was thinking we were on Clubhouse chopping it up, and just realized we're actually doing a live podcast. So we're gonna jump back into the podcast format. Yeah, Joel, did you? What? Yeah,
I was going to continue on to that. So, like, what's been kind of hit on a couple times, when you're looking at these types of things, it's like you need to resist any inclination of, well, that's not how I would buy. It's not about you, right?
Yes.
I get clients all the time that they're like, well, I don't like TikTok. It's not about you. Okay. If, especially when we're using some advanced data targeting, like if I get a hit on TikTok, it's because your audience is there. It's that simple. So, we're going to hit them there.
Great point.
It's one step at a time. So think of it like, again, back to the sales process. I call you up. I'm looking for your product or service. What's the first question you're going to ask me, right? How are you going to keep me on the phone and entertained, right? So you're going to answer the phone with enthusiasm and energy, with a big old freaking smile on your face, right? So you need to be able to hook people at the first connection there as well. So whatever ad you're sending them there needs to hook and continue on. What problem are you solving for them? You think about the one problem that your customer is being kept up awake at night with, right? That one problem that you solve. And that's what that landing page hits home on. And it takes them one step to the next step to show them how they solve the problem, and that, hey, they got to go with you, or here's the way to do it. It's one of those types of things. So again, a company who may be hosting your website is great maybe for hosting your website, but a website's not meant for straight lead generation or paid lead generation. You're going to want to definitely use landing pages. There's a few options on that, but then you also think of a nurturement cycle. So, after they saw this, what's the next step in the journey? What would be the next piece of information that they need, whether it be by an email, a text message, or a voicemail drop or something like that, right? And then also too, one quick note, David, as well, anytime you're building these things, keep in mind privacy regulations. So if you're in the state of California, if you're in Vermont, if you're in Utah and Colorado, there's a lot of different states have different privacy regulations that you just simply need to abide by. And there's easy ways to do that, but don't skip it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Joel. That just gave us a little masterclass. Appreciate that, sir.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Joel's the man. Joel's another licensee, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
You're a licensee.
I'm actually not.
Oh, you're not a licensee. Oh, well, my bad.
Once in a while.
Got it. But you're just involved with the community. Okay, got it.
I'm just deep in the community, brother.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, Joel was at GrowthCon. I thought he was a licensee. He was like the tallest guy there. He's like 6'6". So if you ever need to, just have Joel's phone number and he'll help navigate you around the events. All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you being here, man. Any other questions? We literally have time for maybe I have a hard stop probably in like 10 minutes. So do we have any other questions before we wrap it up? Anybody in Clubhouse? All right. Well, I guess not. If you do, quickly just unmic, say your name and tell us your question. If not, I'm just going to go back to you then, Glenn. So, all right, brother. So final thoughts. We talked about the 4 steps, and I'll go through them again. Is number 1 is a model. Find the best people that are doing it at the highest level in your industry, in your space, in your town, in your community, in your niche, and whatever, right? Like who's doing it? Number 2 is we're going to hack, right? That's right from Russell Brunson. Okay. It's working. Then do what works, right? You'll make your own tweaks. I get it. You said number 3. Now you got it. You got to just get to work, build it, right? If you don't build it, or hire somebody, right? Hire you, Glenn. Should hire you to build it for them, since you have the experience, you know how to do this, right? Or you can figure it out yourself. And then
or learn. That's something that I actually, sorry to interrupt you, but like, that's something that I let business owners know. Learn it, because when it's time to hire somebody, you know exactly what to expect.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's why I really don't want to say advice, because I'm not a lawyer, but I recommend to business owners or individuals or entrepreneurs that they want to get into any type of business, learn it. So that way, when it's time to hire somebody, you know exactly what to expect from that person.
Yeah, man. Okay, love it. I'll shamelessly say I do know how to build a funnel. I'm not that great at it, but
you do a good job, brother. You always telling me, no, tweak this, tweak that.
Yeah, I see the creative side. That's why I have Sam. She builds the stuff for me. But I think we all make a great team. All right, awesome. So number 4, traffic.
Yep.
Traffic. What else? What else comes after that? What are we missing?
I mean, after traffic, after that is just about tracking everything that you do, tracking your ads. If you're running ads, tracking your posting, tracking your insights. It's very important that you track everything, because if you don't track it, it's not going to grow. So if you stay in front of it, and you tracking and you see what's working. So if this is working, let's do more of that. If this is not working, we don't have to do this. So it's very important not only take all those steps and take the actions towards it, but the most important thing is to track everything that you're doing.
Wow. So important, because without tracking, how do you know? It's kind of like we were talking about earlier with
Yep.
with Dina's question, right? Like,
Yep.
if you, how do you know? Like, I want to be able to track everything.
Yep.
You know, like, so websites, I'd never worry about fancy websites. You know, I mean, you want to have a nice site because it's, you know, depending on your business. Do you agree with that? Some businesses need to have that nice fancy website, or do you think that is that in the past? I don't know the answer to. What are your thoughts on that?
I strongly believe that they should have a website, but they should not think that website is going to convert. Like Joel mentioned, I mean, these days, unfortunately, websites don't convert. So it's good to have a website to provide as much information needed for that person to make a decision. The more information you have there, the better. But it's very important also to have a few steps before you get to the website, which that's where the landing pages and funnels come in.
Yeah. So when we
make it pretty, make it nice. It has to be nice. It's a presentation.
Yeah. So having a website, as well as it's funny because I kind of just use this Linktree thing as my website now.
Which is good.
I mean, I do have a website.
It's perfect. I like Linktree because that way you guide people based on the interest. You know what I mean? So if you're guiding them through your ebook, that's a funnel. You're gonna collect the lead there. Well, if you're driving them to your webinar, you're gonna collect the lead there as well.
But you know what's interesting now, as I'm thinking about this, if you look at my website, which is davidihill.com, that is actually built on ClickFunnels, and all my website is 7 or 8 landing pages put together, right? Lead pages. Put together on one main page.
And one main hub. That's what it is.
Which is actually similar to a Linktree. It's just almost like a fancier Linktree.
It is. That's the way I see it too, though. It's like a fancier Linktree. It's like more information on one page than just titles.
Yeah, amen.
I love that main hub from ClickFunnels. I love it.
My guy Kevin Amoroso popped in. I don't know, Kevin, you got any questions you want to ask Glenn or me, or what are your thoughts? You want to add anything?
Honestly, I love the topic, ClickFunnels, man. David, since you guys introduced me to ChatGPT, I went on ChatGPT one time and just said, hey, what would the ideal ClickFunnel look like for a real estate agent? And it literally built it out. And then I was able to ask questions. What would be a great landing page? And then it gave me suggestions. And I said, what would be a good call to action? And it built it out for me. So I love the topic, bro. And the fact that you're talking about Linktree, for a while, I was using my Linktree as that main ClickFunnel to bring business into me. But I think we have to be beyond Linktree as business is evolving and everybody's getting into it. I think we need to consistently learn how to evolve past the ClickFunnel. And like, I love what Glenn said. It's good to have all of that good stuff, but if you're not the person who's doing the converting part of it, all of those things really don't make sense. You have to be the one to help in the conversion of it. But I like it. Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much use my Linktree as kind of like my business card now. I think, and then because it's a good way to connect everything. And I have a lot of different funnels. I probably have 20, if not more. I mean, sometimes I forget some of the funnels. We have free scripts, call reluctance, 10 follow-up. I mean, there's so many of them, but I'm lucky I have someone that can build them, somebody that's been, doing it for years, and she's really, really good at it. So
she's very good at it.
Yeah. So, all right. Any final thoughts, Glenn, for anybody? What would you say? Any if somebody's interested in learning more about what you do, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I mean, anybody wants to get in touch with me, you can either Google me as a Glenn 10X Coach. You can simply give me a call, 239-272-3739. You can reach me through David. We always working together. And something that I want to tell you guys, don't get stuck in the technical stuff. Just go ahead and implement whatever it is that you want to do. If you really want to master this for your business, listen, come to our workshop. We got a workshop coming up right now in April that we're going to actually tell you exactly how you're going to be building this. How are you going to build it? How are you going to come up with your message, your branding, your pillars, your attributes? And then we take all that and build a page with you. Okay, so not only are you going to create all your messages or your branding, but you also going to learn how to build a page and then run traffic to it. So don't get stuck in the technical stuff. Just keep taking small steps towards it and just get it done.
Yeah, I think it's the way of the future. A friend of mine at Keller Williams, I'm no longer at Keller Williams, but she told me that at their big annual event, family reunion, from the big stage, they were talking about real estate agents now having landing pages and having, funnels. And to be honest with you, the one I was telling you about earlier, I'm not going to tell you exactly what company it is, but they were one of the companies connected is the one that actually built the landing page that said the call to action was list with me. Well, that is a horrible call to action for a landing page, by the way. Just an FYI. If you weren't here earlier, we went deeper into the story, but you do not. It'd be like walking into somebody's house. I first meet you. I shake Glenn's hand. Hey, Glenn, nice to meet you. You ready to list the house with me? Like nothing, right? Like
can I stay over?
You gotta do better than that. Yeah, you want to get married, Glenn? Let's let's go to Bahamas. Well, all right. Anyway, man, my bad. All right. Final thoughts. To Glenn's point, by the way, up on the top, the for you guys that are listening on the podcast, because I gotta be aware that this is a podcast as well. You go to David I. Hill /MEW. David I. Hill /MEW will get you to the. You can check out. As a matter of fact, Glenn built the page that I'm sending you to. That is our funnel for the marketing execution workshop that's happening April 11th and 12th. The way Glenn and I met was he built a funnel for me, and I paid him $1,500 to build that funnel. And so right now, what we're telling you guys is we're creating a product for you where people that sign up right now and take advantage of it, not only do you get the 2-day workshop, which is a $6,000 workshop that you'd have to pay if you went and took it at Grant's office, but you're going to get a custom funnel built, a 2-step funnel. So it's an awesome opportunity if you take advantage of it right now. And if you're listening to this podcast and you just message me opportunity, we'll get you set up with that as well. So again, davidihill.com/MEW, or if you're in Clubhouse right now, just click that link at the top. It's the top tab. You can see it, and then you can get yourself registered so you can start taking your business to the next level.
Let's do it.
All right. Final thoughts, Glenn? Anything final? I'll let you have the last word.
Hey, I mean, I always like to close it like this, man. Like, I always wish everyone the best of success, health, and wealth. And don't let nothing get in front of your goals and targets. Just go for it. Be disciplined, be committed, and keep showing up 100%.
Amen, brother. Love that.